All right, YouTube, Doug Bass back at you one more time. Today, in today's basic bass lesson, I want to talk to you about a genre of music that is oftentimes the most misunderstood genre that's out there. Everybody claims to know what it is, but nobody really plays it correctly. And I don't care who you're talking about, uh, what famous bass player you're talking about, or what famous band you're talking about. A lot of people get this genre confused. And that genre is funk. To understand funk and to really internalize it, you should listen to people like James Brown, Bootsy Collins, Maceo Parker, people like that, or people that came from that same school of thought, because they are prime examples. James Brown was the one that gave us the funk, right? He is the one that perfected the formula. And the people in his band, he was very strict on, right? And he had to have it a certain way because in his mind, he was formulating this idea and everything had to flow around that idea, okay? But it had to be precise. And if it wasn't precise, he would be on you, okay? I came up in the late 60s, early 70s, uh, playing all kinds of music, right? Started out playing gospel, uh, branched off into rock and roll, R&B, punk rock. I had my phases. I went through all of it, right? But the one thing that never left me, because it's one of the reasons why I started playing bass, was the funk. And the funk is very simple. The formula is so simple it'll blow your mind. But as easy as it is to conceptualize, it is exactly that much of a barrier to actually play correctly. I don't know if I said that right. But it's very easy to conceptualize, very easy to explain, but very hard to put into practice for most folks because to play the funk, you have to be disciplined. And a lot of people can't discipline themselves to stay where they need to be. A lot of excellent bass players, I'm not taking anything from them. Excellent bass players, a lot of chops, a lot of speed, a lot of agility, a lot of flying up and down the net, but not the funk. Just because you can slap and pop a line doesn't make it the funk, right? This, that's not funk. That's just slap and pop, okay? Now, the formula of the funk, very simple, as I said. It is the one. Before it, there was none. After it, there will be no more. It is the one. It is the only thing in the world that is important as a funk player, is the one. Now, depending on how your music is divided, you may have various things going on. But as a bass player, you have to know where the one is. It doesn't matter what genre of music you're playing. It could be country, western, bluegrass, jazz, pop, whatever. You have to know where that one is, the beginning of the beat, the one. And that is the beat that the funk falls on, okay? If you don't play nothing else, you hit that one. If you don't do any fancy fills, you hit that one. If you don't do any slapping and popping, you hit that one and you'll be in the funk zone. All right? So let me give you an example. It's a very easy example, nothing spectacular, but you'll get the picture of what I'm talking about. I'm going to play a very basic drum line on my drum machine here, And you tell me, where is the one? One. 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 Now you got to put your bass note on that one. One. You notice the hi-hat is right before the one. It's on the four and, right? One. So when you're playing the funk, a funk bass line, you can't be behind the beat. You can't be ahead of the beat. You have to be right directly standing on the beat, on that one. Okay? A lot of times as musicians, we like to play a little bit behind the beat to give the song a certain feel, or play a little bit ahead of the beat to give the song a different little feel. But on the funk, you have to be right directly on that one. Okay? One more time. Example. On the one. Now, in between that, you got to hit that note right on the one. Doesn't matter what kind of fills you play in between. You can fly up and down the fingerboard if you want. But in the funk, it's really about syncopating with the drums and creating a solid foundation for the rest of the band to jump off of. The singer, the other musicians, or whatever, depending on what kind of band you're in. Okay? It's the one. So to cap it off, it doesn't matter the amount of notes that you play. As a matter of fact, the fewer notes that you play on the funk, the better it is. What funk consists of is landing on top of that beat, the one, every single time. Okay? See what I'm saying? So, the other musicians have that rock, that bed that you and the drummer are laying down to jump off of, okay? So when you start putting a million notes in there and a million fills in there, you start to get off of the funk playground and you get out in left field, okay? Now that doesn't mean it doesn't sound good, it's just not the funk, okay? All right, love, peace, and hair grease, baby. Remember, the one, before there was one, there was none. If you miss that one, there will be no more, baby. Love, peace, and hair grease. I'm out.